recreated this whole makeup look using some of my most used and oldest makeup products. If you're curious to see which ones they are, then let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to just sit down, play with some makeup, and I'm revisiting some products that I haven't used in quite some time. I did a similar video, I'm going to say a couple of months ago. I'll put the thumbnail here for it. And it was just fun playing with a bunch of products that have been just kind of sitting there, and they used to be some of my favorites. But with all the new stuff that I'm constantly trying, they get sometimes a little bit buried under my other stuff. And I have a nice mixture, I think, of some drugstore and some higher end. What I will say is in that video that I did, I had a bunch of people comment that it was actually just refreshing to see something like that, because I totally get it. Not everybody's running out and grabbing the latest and greatest of everything. Even as a YouTuber, I am not running out and grabbing the latest and greatest of everything. And I think what I also like is there's probably quite a few of these products that some of you may have in your makeup collection. So let's just do a fun get ready with me. We'll chit chat. What I'm first going to go in with, I always like to put something on my lips. So I'm going in with my Lise Watier. This is their lip caring oil. This one I have in the shade Framboise. The one thing I love about the lip oil is it's never gummy, and there's just like a really wonderful feeling on my lips. Very, very nice product. Then we're going to go in with Fenty Beauty. This is her Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. Now, again, this was just buried, and when I pulled it out, I actually forgot that I had it. It was so buried under my other stuff. But it is a beautiful primer. So I usually just take about that much. And this generally does my whole face. I have applied all of my other skincare products already. She has some really nice products. I'm a definite fan of her beauty line. It really makes the skin feel like silky soft. And then I just kind of pat it in, especially around this area here around my mouth. And then in where my 11s are, just kind of give it a little bit of extra feel in there. And we'll also go in and apply some color corrector before we start. So I'm going to go in with the Sigma. This is the Spectrum Color Correcting Duo. I have this in the shade light to medium. So it gives you two different shades. But what I personally like to do is I actually mix both of them, because one is a really pretty peach color corrector, and then the other one acts as almost like a brightener. So those are the two combined. And then I take that and I just very lightly tap it in. It's a nice creamy formula, but it doesn't do any like significant settling in the under eye area. And I actually will take it just up here where I'm a little bit purple, and it really makes the concealer apply better. It acts like a primer as well. So come a little closer, so there's the one side done. So you can see what a difference it makes. I am a big fan. If you've watched previous videos of mine, I am a huge fan of color correcting under the eyes if you have like real dark pigmentation. And if you aren't one of those people, I am very envious of you. And then I'm also going to prep the eyelids for eyeshadow. So I'm going in with the Alter Ego. This is their eyeshadow base. This one really does help the eyeshadow adhere to the eye, and it like lasts all day. So it just comes like a little wand. It's so creamy. And what I like about this is you could actually even just, if you don't want to like have any eyeshadow on that day, but you do want to take care of any sort of discoloration that you may have on your eyelids, this works great for that. You could even just kind of throw this on and see how it just kind of hides all, like any sort of discoloration that you have. As you can see from my background, I'm starting to get into fall mode. I am. I've got my little pumpkin back there. I've got one of my fall mugs going right here. That's my fall mug. I have quite a few of them. I am a total fall person. My favorite season. I've even got I'm starting to get my fall shirts here, my nice burgundy. And I think even when I started gathering all the products today, this might even become maybe like a little bit of a fall look. But I do want to do another video with there's a whole bunch of products that I have already in my head of what I want to do for a beautiful fall look. So stay tuned for that. Now that we have all of those products on, and they're all kind of working and doing their thing, we'll go in with the eyebrows. So we're going to use the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim. I haven't used this one in a while either. I think I've been using my Revlon. So I just started revisiting this one again, and I have this in the shade Medium Brown. So it has the spoolie on the one end, and then this end, it's very precise. So I find that's like the perfect shade for my eyebrows. But they do have quite a shade range for them. And I really don't do a lot with my eyebrows. I start at the beginning here, the front of my brow, and then I just run it through. And I try and bring the pencil out in like a wispy motion. I don't want to drag my eyebrow down the tail, because I really do have to draw those brows in now. I don't have a lot of hairs going down this way anymore. They've all kind of deteriorated. So we just fake it for now. But I do like to start with my eyebrows a lot. I find it just kind of gets me ready for the whole makeup look and frames the face. You could even go a step further and put it like a little, maybe a clear tinted wax or something if you want them to stay. Let's see how that just makes a difference doing the one side. So I'm actually going to start with the eyes today first before we do our face makeup. Because sometimes every once in a while you get a little bit of like eyeshadow fallout, and once you've done your face, it's really hard to remove it. So that's why sometimes I just prefer to go in with my eyeshadow first. So we're going to go in with a beautiful palette. It's the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. The packaging is just luxurious. This is like a velvet type of package. Comes with a nice mirror on the end here. And then also the color story. The color story is so pretty. And I thought this would be actually quite nice for a fall look. She has some great choices. This is a nice everyday type of palette that you can go from daytime to nighttime just by swapping out a few different shades. And her palettes are always very richly pigmented, very easy to blend. And it's one of those ones that you don't need a lot of. It's well used. I have used it quite a bit. So we'll start off with Dusty Rose, which is right here. I'm going to use that as my transition shade. And I'm going to use my Rephr 15 eyeshadow brush. Like I said, you don't need a lot, just like a tiny bit. And look at how easily that picks up on the brush. Make sure to always tap off. Love Rephr brushes. They are one of the softest brushes. So little effort to apply eyeshadow. So if you hear a little bit of noise, I have my window open. It's a little bit warm. So, and I have the neighbors doing some kind of outside work, even though it is raining right now. It's also a nice palette because it has a mixture of some mattes, some shimmers. There's a few like duochromes in here. I don't usually use those ones, but the other ones are really beautiful to use. And then I always forget to swatch for you guys. Here's that Dusty Rose color that I just used. Isn't that pretty? Really is beautiful as a transition shade. And then what I'm going to go in with is this one right here, it's called Rustic. And I'll swatch that one for you too. So I think those will work well together. Another matte layer, they're both matte colors. And I'm just going to go in with my BK Beauty. This is the 212 brush. A really like fluffy type of brush. Again, picks up the product so easily. Just like a little bit like that. A little dab will do ya. Tap off. And this one I'm just going to bring right up above my crease. So how has everybody been doing? Are you ready for fall? We only have like another week or so before it is officially fall. Summer will be over. I don't know about you guys, but where I am, the weather is definitely challenging each other. Summer and fall are duking it out a little bit. It has become a little bit cooler in the evening and through the night, which is fine. And with this one as well, I'm just going to take it right on the outer corner and blend it about halfway, just to give it a little bit of depth. And then I do want to lighten just the inner part of my eye. So we're going in with the shade right here. It's a matte, and it's called Tempura, but it's almost like a vanilla shade. And that one I'm going to just apply with my finger. See how pretty that is. And I used just like a light hand. See how pigmented that is? I'm going to say there's just like a slight little sheen to it. So it's not exact. I'm not going to say it's exactly a like a shimmer, but it definitely does highlight and lighten up that inner corner. Like, look at the difference between that eye and this eye. And then just to make sure everything is blended together, I'm going to go back in with that Rephr brush and just very lightly just marry the two together on the lid. The thing I find about eyeshadows is everything is always blend, blend, blend. Make sure everything is blended together. It just brightens the eye area up. And then I'm going to take that same shade. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 209 brush. It's a flat, like a flat bristle brush. But what I like to do with this one is use it for my inner corner, right in that area there where my tear duct is. Now I may revisit that because I'm going to be still putting concealer and stuff on. So we'll see if that disturbs it. And then I like to take that same shade and just slightly do right under my brow bone. That just highlights the area. Again, brightens it up. Now one thing I will show you is the shade in here would be great if you want to transition to like a nighttime look. So I have a dedicated eyeliner that I'm going to use to do the rest of my my eyes. So this shade right here is called Noir, black basically. And if you look at how dark that is. So that would be perfect if you wanted to use it as an eyeliner and just like get a really fine brush and use that as your eyeliner. I find using eyeshadows to do eyeliner is very forgiving and easier to use if you happen to make a mistake. It's so much easier to clean up an eyeshadow than it is sometimes like an eyeliner. So just a little tip for you on with this palette. It's very versatile. That's why I was saying about going from like a day to nighttime look. But what I am going to use today is the Sephora. See, the actual name is the retractable eyeliner. And this is matte brown black. So I like this one. It's very well used. It actually needs to be sharpened a little bit. But it has the one end. And then on the other end, it has like a little, like a sponge for like a smudger. You can see the shade is like a really rich, like a chocolate brown. And it's waterproof. So this one I do like to use as my tight liner. And then I just, as I'm tight lining, I'm also just running it along my lash line, like right into my lashes. And sometimes you can just do this and not even use eyeliner on your top of like on your eyelid. That's one of the great things about tight lining is it really does fill in all of those gaps and it just gives it like a fullness to the lashes. I'll show you what it looks like in a second here once I'm done. But see how this eye looks totally filled in compared to the eye that I haven't done yet. So like I said, you can even just get away with doing that. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking that pencil and running it just very, very tight to the upper lash line. I don't want a big, thick line because I just want this to be like a soft look. And so you can see how it's just really tight against the line. And then I take that smudger and just smudge it out. This one is nice because it does give you time to work with it. It doesn't dry down quickly. It just kind of diffuses the shade. Like I said, just softens the whole area. So we're just going to pause on the eyes for now. And I'm glad that I didn't put my face makeup on because there was just like like some little smudges of eyeshadow. So I have just brushed them off. But yeah, I'm glad that I went in first with the eyeshadow. Now what we're going to use is this wonderful foundation that is one of my holy grails. Used it forever. You can see by the packaging, it's very well used. Right up on the top here, it's all been, yeah, it's a well-used one. So this is the L'Oreal True Match foundation. This was one of those ones that went through a packaging change. And they reformulated it so that it has like hyaluronic acid in it. It's very like super, super blendable foundation. I find it really does help even out my skin tone, but it doesn't look like makeup-y or too overly done. What I love about this actually is it has quite an extensive shade range. The last time I looked, I think it said it had like 52 shades. And I should tell you what shade I'm wearing. This is 2 and Vanilla. This is one of those foundations that they claim you can pretty much find your shade for your skin tone, which you can clearly see how lovely it matches just even on the back of my hand. It's not, I'm going to say, super liquidy, which I like that part of it. And I don't apply a lot. I don't think I need a lot of foundation to even everything out. I usually just apply a little bit on my nose, my chin, and my forehead. We're just going to blend it out using my Rephr sponge. So what I do is I take it from the center of my face and I start blending out. This one has been around forever. It's just a real workhorse type of foundation. I love a lot of the L'Oreal foundations. They just all have such a great formula. You can certainly use a brush if you want to, if that's your preference for your applying foundation. But this one does make my skin just look like skin. It's like a natural finish. And it's a foundation that when they reformulated it, they put like skin caring ingredients in it. Over time, it improves your skin. Now, unfortunately, I can't make claims to that because I use so many different other foundations. This was one of those ones that needed a revisit. It's been quite a while since I've used this one, but it used to be like one of my favorites. And I think I can't remember, I think I did 1 or 2 videos about this one. I'll put the thumbnails over here. I think it was 2 that I did, so I'll just stick the thumbnail over here if you want to go visit them. But hopefully you can tell how on the camera how just it looks very evened out. You can still see my natural skin poking through. It's not like too shiny, like too glowy. It just gives a nice radiant finish to the skin. So that's why it used to be one of my holy grails foundations, but it's still like right up there. It's a great foundation. For concealer today, we're going to use the NYX. This is the Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I have this one in the shade Beige. Now, what is a little bit unique about this concealer is it comes as a pump, so it's not a wand. So I guess that was the only thing that wasn't the best thing for me personally. I prefer like a concealer with a wand, but this used to be, again, one of my holy grail concealers. I kind of looked past the applicator method, and what I ended up usually doing is putting it onto the back of my hand. And I don't know if I'm going to even be able to get enough out of here because this is like almost empty. I used to use it a lot. So I just put that much. And then I'm going to also go to revisiting some brushes. So one of my old school brushes that I used to use for concealer is the Real Techniques concealer brush. Nice dome type of head on it. And then I take a little bit of the concealer, just very lightly. And then I'm going to dab that on. Remember, I also have that color corrector on, so that I don't need as much concealer when I use that color corrector. And I'm also going to take it right up here and clean up some of that eyeshadow that may have come a little bit too far in, and also cover up some of that darkness I have there. And this also does another great thing about applying the concealer after you've done your eyeshadow is just kind of cleaning up if you've come down too far past your eye, and just cleaning that up. And then if you want to blend a little bit more, like I can see it's kind of just coming down a little bit here, I just take my sponge and just blend everything out. But I love this concealer because it's like a serum-y, so my under eyes look very hydrated. It doesn't ever do any settling. And for this concealer personally, I don't even apply like any powder for setting. But if you have more like an oily skin, or if you're going to be wearing it for like a long period of time, then you may want to add just like a little bit of like a pressed powder. Let's see how that looks a little bit more cleaned up than this side. And you guys know, I always like to put a little bit of something under my eye. Not necessarily eyeliner. I do like to put sometimes just like an eyeshadow. I find that looks a little bit softer on the eye. So we're going to use the BK Beauty. This is the 204 brush. And it is like a flat, really flat, precise brush. Perfect for doing under the eyes with eyeshadow. And I'm going to go back in with that rustic color from the eyeshadow palette and tap it off really well. And then I just run that along under the lower lash line and really smudge it out. I just want a little bit of color. Don't want anything too harsh. See how it just kind of gives some softness to the eye. And sometimes I'll try and marry up the two. The eyeliner from the top is coming down, so I'll just kind of marry them together and smudge them together. And then we're going to give the lashes a little bit of a curl here using the best, in my opinion, lash curler is the Rephr eyelash curler. It simply is the best. I don't know what it is, but it just really grasps every lash and gets right down to the lash line. Like right, it gets really close. That'll make such a difference with when you apply the mascara. It really does help open up the eye area. And we're going to go in with mascara, but I did want to say I have recently started using another like lash serum. Let me know if you guys have ever used it's the City Lash. It's their eyelash serum to help build up your lashes, fill them in, help them grow, that sort of thing. But I kind of have given up on lash serums, I find. Like I've tried a whole bunch and just nothing seemed to do it for me. And then I just recently discovered this one. So we'll see if this makes a difference. Not sure yet. All right, so we're going to go in now with, this is like old school mascara. Like old school mascara. This is the L'Oreal, the Voluminous mascara. I know a bunch of you have probably used this one. Because it has been around forever. But it is still one of the great mascaras out there. The one I have has a curved wand. There's several different types. You can get ones with like the straight wand, but I like just the curved wand. And this is the shade Black Brown. So again, it's going to give that softness to the eye. It's not like a black, but it has some brown to it. And this is just a classic, right? It just really fills in the lashes. This one, I mean, I have never had issues with it clumping. It doesn't flake on me. It lasts all day. Really gives some thickness to the lashes. Just an all-around great, great mascara. Look at that. And that's literally just one coat. Amazing, amazing drugstore mascara. All right, next up we're going to use a bronzer and revisit the bronzer I haven't used in so long. And it's the Merit. This is the Bronze Balm. I have this in the shade Clay. But what I love about this one is it's a twist up. So you just twist up the product. And this gives, like this particular shade gives a beautiful, beautiful softness, like a warm softness to the skin. Such a rich, creamy formula. So a couple of different ways that you can apply this. You can certainly go in and just apply it directly to your face. Or you can use a brush like I'm going to do, is apply the brush and pick up the product that way. This is the BK Beauty. This is the 108 brush. And this is a perfect little brush for that because it's a very small tapered end. And this is one of those products that, quite honestly, I don't think you could over apply it. It blends in like a dream. You can even apply this with just your fingers. Like honestly, if you just rub your hand on that and apply it that way. But the warmth it gives my skin, like look at how beautiful that is. It leaves my skin with a little bit of a sheen to it. I love that Merit is like natural, cruelty-free. I always run it, as you guys know, along my hairline. But I've never, ever had this product apply streaky on me at all. And like I said, I don't think I've ever had the issue with looking like too much on my skin. I'm so happy with how this look is turning out. It really, I'm loving it. I'm loving the eyes. I'm loving that bronzer balm is just terrific. Love it. Now this is going old school again. Covergirl Trublend. So flushed. I have this in the shade Love Me. This has been around like just forever. That particular shade, I use this one so much. We're going to go in with the Rephr 37 brush. This is my favorite brush for applying bronzers or blushes. It picks up the actual product with little effort. Like that, I just barely put my brush in there and look at how much it picks up. Always tap off. And I just kind of stipple it on right up on the like higher point part of my cheek. This one I find is never like too chalky or powdery. It's just a great, simple drugstore blush. How nice that is. And even though one product that I applied is more of like a creamy type of product, and now this is a powder, it doesn't pick up the product underneath. And then for highlighter today, you guys let me know whether you have this highlighter because it's been around, again, forever. It's the Milani. This is the Baked Highlighter. I have this in the shade Champagne Dioro 120. This is very well used. It's actually like coming out of the packaging. I have to hold on to it. It has a bit of a gold fleck kind of undertone to it, which I think would be really pretty with the whole kind of fall-y, I'm going to say fall-y inspired look. I'm going to use my Sigma. This is the F03 brush. It's just a highlighter brush. And because I have a little bit of luminosity from that Merit bronzer, I'm just putting like a tiny, tiny little bit right on my high point of my cheek. But everything just looks so cohesive. Have a little bit of the goldiness from the highlighter, and then the eyes are just kind of giving it, just highlighting that whole area. So I'm quite excited about this lip combo. I haven't used, this is going to be like a little bit of a guinea pig test because I haven't used these lips products together before. So we're first going to go in with the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner. I have this in the shade Totally Toffee. I thought that it would be just like look perfect together. So I would say yes, definitely that is a toffee shade. I do go in and fill in the whole lip. And then we're going to go in with the Sigma Liquid Lipstick. Now, the print is super, super tiny, and even with my reading glasses, it's hard to read. Like, there, it's really hard to read. Like, so I think it says Cor de Rosa, but I'll have it linked down below for you guys with the exact shade, but it's really tiny. Now, one thing I recommend when you're using liquid lipsticks, well, I'm going to say any lipstick in general, but especially liquid lipsticks, is make sure that you at least do some sort of exfoliation on the lip. And that's going to get any little bits of lip that you have on, like little bits of skin that you may have. And I find with liquid lipsticks, it's more of an issue with them like having any sort of like little bits on your lip. So there's the wand, and then I'll show you what the two look like together. So there's the lip liner, and then there's the lipstick. So I thought that would be really pretty. Nice, yeah. It's actually a very good shade match. And I like when they're like have a little precise wand on the end, and I will fill in if I see any little gaps, like on my, especially on my bottom. And then the other recommendation I have with liquid lipsticks is letting them dry. This one is not a real matte formula. It does leave a little bit of a like a shine to it, and it's not drying on the lip, which I really appreciate that they have that as a feature of their liquid lipsticks. It's not drying. Doesn't feel like my lips have like all the moisture sucked out of them. And then we're going to give the lips a little bit of a gloss today, and it's the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I have this in the shade Amber. I thought that would look pretty with the shade I have on now. So it has quite a big doe foot applicator. It's just going to give a little bit of peach. And I put that usually just in the center. These glosses are nice because they don't feel like overly sticky or clumpy. And again, been around forever. And then I do want to set everything. I have a bunch of things that I'm doing today, so I just want to have my makeup set. And we're going to go in with the Milani Make It Last Dewy setting spray. The mister is beautiful on this one. It comes out as a very fine mist. And then what I do is I just take my sponge and set just very lightly all that spray in there. All right, so a few of you have mentioned that you like it when I show right after I finish filming and you can see in natural light what the look looks like. So I thought I would do it again for you guys, but look at how nice it turned out. I love all the products. Like I said, these were some of my old favorites that I love revisiting them every once in a while, just going back and using those same products. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Everything will be linked and listed down below in the description box. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!